Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us here at the First Alert Desk, getting into some of your top headlines and the latest stories making news in and around Metro Atlanta. This is Catch Up Quick. Let's get into some headlines. All right, first up, talking about this tragic overnight shooting at a gas station, specifically an Amoco gas station on Sylvan Road. That's right where the intersection with Perkerson Road is. You might find that more familiar. Now, according to homicide commanders, police got the call at around 12:30 a.m. that someone had been shot. When they arrived, they found a man believed to be between 35 and 40 years old on the ground in front of the store. Now, they tried to revive him, but it was too late. He did die from his injuries. Detectives believe it all started with a dispute that actually escalated into gunfire. They say that they have the man who they believed pulled the trigger.
We are speaking to someone at our headquarters. He's not in custody as of now. He's being interviewed by investigators to get a determination of his role in the matter. We are working with the gas station to acquire surveillance footage. They've been very cooperative and is going to assist in our investigation.
Now, this might sound all too familiar with you. The gas station shooting comes less than 12 hours after another deadly shooting at a DeKalb County gas station. Now, we've previously told you about the DeKalb County ordinance that requires gas stations to have updated security cameras. There are nearly 250 locations that are now required to have those cameras after the ordinance went into effect at the end of June. Now, the cameras are required to record 24/7, and they must view registers, doors, gas pumps, things like that. A lot of areas outside the building specifically. Those gas stations must prove that the cameras are working and functional to renew their business license each year. So we're going to keep following that and see what outcome that could bring. Again, that just went into effect late last month, so there's still time to be seen whether this has a positive effect. All right, and talking about something that made news and almost went a little viral yesterday on social media for a lot of us here in Atlanta. Traffic is back moving on I-75 in Cobb County after a dump truck caused an overhead sign to collapse during rush hour yesterday. Now, it happened near State Route 5 and Allgood Road exit. All northbound lanes were shut down for more than 2 hours during rush hour traffic. Now, we actually ended up talking to a few people that got stuck in the mess, and they said, you know, this isn't something that you plan for, and it certainly wasn't comfortable for those drivers, but traffic after those 2 hours was back open partially and then all the way, and now I-75 is looking a little less hectic. Now, GDOT has not said when it will replace the fallen sign. We'll keep you updated on that in our free Atlanta News First app. And talking about something big that's happening today, Aaron Shelton is scheduled to be sentenced after being found guilty of felony murder and aggravated assault on a law enforcement officer. Now, that name might sound familiar. This is a case we brought to you here on Atlanta News First. According to authorities, Aaron's cousin, Pierre Shelton, fired multiple times at deputies with an AK-47 in what was a high-speed chase in Carroll County. Now, Pierre ended up striking a deputy in the arm during the ambush. Authorities then shot Pierre, killing him on the scene. You might be asking, what does this have to do with Aaron Shelton? Well, according to authorities, Aaron was driving the getaway car. He's scheduled for sentencing today at 2 p.m. And the deadline for the Screen Actors Guild and studios and streaming services to reach a deal, that passed at midnight, and no deal was reached. Now SAG-AFTRA has to decide if it will join writers on the picket line. Atlanta News First reporter Madeline Montgomery was out at Assembly Atlanta all morning long and has more on how a strike could impact us right here in Georgia.
If actors go on strike, it'll be the first time since the 1960s that them and the Writers Guild went on strike at the same time. Right now, with the Writers Guild being on strike, a lot of productions here in Atlanta have slowed down. Well, industry insiders say that if the actors go on strike too, most productions will probably stop altogether. The Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, had set a deadline for 11:59 Wednesday with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers to come up with a deal. The main issue at hand is money. The actors want the new deal to have pensions, healthcare contributions, and additional payments when the shows they appear in air on streaming services. There are also concerns over AI replacing performers in TV and in film.
I think this is a wake-up call not only for the entertainment industry, but for every industry to really look at that and say, we are not being paid fairly. We are not being paid a fair share of the pie for what we are contributing to these industries.
According to SAG's website, their board of directors are going to meet this morning to vote whether or not to strike. And if they do say yes to a strike, it could start as soon as today. That means performers not going to set to act and not going out to promote their film and their TV shows. Reporting in Doraville, I'm Madeline Montgomery, Atlanta News First.
And in other news, right now there's a new program that gives seniors better access to fresh fruits and veggies here in Fulton County. That program provides seniors 60 and older with checks that can be used to purchase fresh produce from farmers markets across Atlanta. Now those checks will be distributed today on a first come, first served basis. Seniors can pick up their check via drive-through from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Harriet G. Darnell Multipurpose Facility. That's on Fairburn Road, as you can imagine. So we will continue to follow through with this, hopefully talk to some of these seniors. But if you have a loved one, a neighbor that could benefit from this program, you might want to let them know that is happening today. All right, and it is going to be a hot one this weekend, and good for us, right? Because Sunday is actually National Ice Cream Day. And at this point, I'm going to bring in meteorologist Rodney Harris to not only break down your forecast, but I'm curious, Rodney, what is your favorite flavor of ice cream?
What is your favorite flavor of ice cream?
I'm a caramel girl. I am a basic caramel, Rocky
Okay.
Road maybe sometimes.
That
on a
sounds good.
day.
There's only one flavor. Cookies and cream. All day. All
Okay.
day.
I can get with some cookies and cream.
And vanilla. Like a regular vanilla. You can't do vanilla wrong. What was it again? It was a really long name.
The
Yours. Your favorite ice cream.
My favorite ice cream is caramel.
Caramel. Okay, that wasn't
Yeah,
long.
that's not
Caramel.
that long.
Okay, fair enough. I have to try that, Maria. Good morning to you, everybody. So today is our transition day for us. As you know, it's been pretty dry over the past several days. Lower humidity, but if you stepped outdoors this morning, you already know that humidity is back. I want to get you right to First Alert Radar because this is one of the changes that we're tracking. In addition to the moisture being back in place today, we also have some pop-up storms that will be possible this afternoon. The coverage is only at about 30%, so it won't be a washout, but it'll be the first time in a few days where we do have at least a threat of some pop-up storms as you're driving home from work or if you're out to dinner this evening. That stuff that's out west shouldn't really make it this far east, but you can kind of get the idea of what's happening west of us on First Alert Radar. Here is our high-resolution forecast model. As we put this into motion, you can see through lunchtime we're in pretty good shape. It's not until you're driving home from work that those little pop-up storms will start happening. And again, that's going to continue through around sunset, which is at 8:50, so just before 9 o'clock. This is a pattern that's pretty normal for the summertime, and so we'll see that throughout the course of the afternoon and evening, but very low coverage at only like 30%. So here is what you can expect temperature-wise. It'll get back up to 92 this afternoon, which was the high that we saw yesterday. I do want to remind you that those heat index temperatures will be in the upper 90s, so if you're going to be outdoors for long periods of time, make sure and drink plenty of water because it'll be plenty hot. Remember, a heat advisory is issued when the heat index is 105. We haven't really hit that this year, and we're not forecasting our heat index temperatures to get above 100 today, but it'll still be plenty hot, so make sure and keep that in mind. Again, if you have to be outdoors for long periods of time. So we have a 30% coverage of pop-up storms today. That'll increase to 40% on Friday and 40% on Saturday. So you'll notice we have a first alert on Saturday. That's really because in addition to the higher coverage of rain, Saturday is a day, it's a weekend, so a lot of you may be outdoors. So we just want to let you know that on Saturday afternoon and evening, it's possible that you'll get wet at some point. So just keep that in mind if you have any plans. That's really the reason why we have that first alert. There's not that big of a difference between Friday and Saturday in terms of the rain chances. It's really more that first alert on Saturday to highlight that chance for those of you who may be outdoors enjoying the first part of your weekend. Sunday, the coverage of rain will go down to 30%. And then on Monday and Tuesday, that ridge of high pressure that we have been tracking in the southwestern U.S., where they've been seeing like triple-digit heat from Arizona to Texas, that ridge will expand eastward at the beginning of next week. And so that'll do two things for us. It'll make it plenty hot. Monday and Tuesday are the hottest days in the 7-day forecast, 93 in Atlanta. And that should also bring our rain chances down. So if you have anything you need to do outdoors, it looks like Monday and Tuesday will be a 48-hour period where it should stay dry in North Georgia as that high pressure sort of takes control. And then by Wednesday of next week, we'll increase the rain chances again. So here is the forecast map for Saturday. This is the first alert on Saturday. And again, you can see where there's not really a lot of heavy rain. Like I'm not really seeing any reds or purples pop up on the map, just a lot of greens and at times some orange. But this is 6 o'clock Saturday evening, and you can see that there's going to be rain around. So that's why Saturday is the first alert. Just wanted to kind of show you that forecast map, taking you ahead to give you an idea of why we have that in place for the first part of your weekend. Finally, I want to take you to the tropics. We have been watching a tropical disturbance all week long that's way out in the open Atlantic. So a tropical disturbance is not a tropical cyclone. It's just basically a cluster of storms. You can see that spin where that orange X is. That's the cluster that we're watching. Once we get a well-defined closed circulation, then it becomes either a tropical depression or a tropical storm. And there's a 60% chance that that'll happen over the next 48 hours. It's actually likely that we could see a tropical depression or tropical storm by the weekend. The good news is that that disturbance is more than 800 miles east of Bermuda, and it's basically going to stay in the open Atlantic. So even though we may have our next named storm, it will not impact anybody, certainly the U.S. But the next name on the list is Don. And for those of you who are wondering, we are, of course, in hurricane season. Hurricane season typically peaks in September, so August and September is when the number of storms typically start to go up, and hurricane season ends in November. So we're really just at the beginning of hurricane season, where it's been super quiet. 4 storms so far this season. But that's something that we'll watch as we go into the weekend. Again, that tropical disturbance way out there that will not impact anybody. We'll keep you up to date on that first alert on Saturday and our rain chances here closer to home today. Again, it'll be the first day that we have a chance of rain in Metro Atlanta in a few days, but the coverage is at about 30%. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Jennifer Valdez is preparing your updated forecast for Atlanta News First, and she will have that for you at noon. Until then, we hope you guys have a great day, and until next time, we'll see you soon.